Good evening, everyone. I wanted to walk you through this first learning unit just so you would have a good idea of what my expectations were and exactly what you needed to do. So you'll begin with watching this video, and then what I want you to pay attention to is the learning outcomes, and those will always be at the beginning of the unit. And what the learning outcomes state is that by the end of this unit, you should be able to describe 5 ways to improve writing as explained by the Paul Roberts essay, How to Say Nothing. You should be able to identify basic elements of an essay. You should be able to list the basic elements of MLA format, and you should be able to write a well-developed essay following Roberts' advice. So those are the learning outcomes for this unit. The next item that you will see is a list of the activities. So you'll watch the unit introduction video, that's this video. Then you're going to read the essay How to Say Nothing in 500 words and complete the corresponding reading questions. Next, you'll review the MLA Format guidelines for writing an academic essay. You'll read the essay assignment and then read each of the articles. And my suggestion for you when you're reading each of the articles is to write a brief summary to the articles, just like a paragraph, and that will kind of help you disseminate the information and to focus on the most important elements of the articles. Then you're going to write an essay about the importance of truth, and I'll go over the specific assignment shortly. And then you'll submit the essay. So here's the article, How to Say Nothing in 500 Words. It's a Word document. You can click on that, print it out, highlight it, underline it, whatever you need to do. You don't have to print it out if you don't want to, but do pay attention to and do read it closely. This is a website that really focuses on the 9 steps for improving your writing that Roberts discusses. So it's a nice kind of a summary of the most important elements. There's also an online version of the article if you prefer that rather than printing it out. So you've got 3 different ways to look at it. Well, actually 2. This is just a summary. Next, you'll click on this link and you'll answer the questions about the essay. And be honest and thoughtful. Make sure that you write well. It's really important for you to practice writing well and carefully, so always proofread and spell check your work. The next item on the list is MLA Format guidelines, and these are just general. We're going to get into more specific elements of MLA, but these are just the basics. So you'll have 1-inch margins, which is the regular default, your name and date, which will be in the upper left-hand corner, and your course, English 111. The title should be centered. The whole essay should be double-spaced. Anytime you have a document that has more than 1 page, you need to include page numbers at the bottom of the page or the top. I really don't care about that. The essay should be left justified. If you are citing sources, you should use in-text citations, and anytime you look at material, you need to have a works cited page. For more detailed information, you can go to this link, the Purdue OWL tutorial, and it walks you through and provides a really great explanation of step-by-step of MLA format. So I strongly recommend that you do that. Now next on the agenda, or on your agenda, is the essay assignment. And I'll read through it and then kind of make some comments about it. Write an essay that responds in depth to the following writing prompt. Most of us were raised to believe that lying or misrepresenting the truth is wrong, and as a child you were likely reprimanded if you told a lie. At some point in your life, it is also likely that someone has gossiped about you or misrepresented what you have said. Once a lie is public, it seems almost impossible to get people to hear or believe the truth. In an era when fake news is prevalent and misinformation is quickly conveyed via social and mainstream media, does truth really matter? Should it? If we perceive misinformation as true and react to it as if it is true, is the truth of any value? Using information from the articles below, your own beliefs, and additional research, explain why the truth should or should not matter. That is the key to this prompt. I gave this prompt in the spring, and my students focused on fake news. And I don't want you to focus on fake news. You can certainly talk about fake news and talk about its relevance, but to your point. But you should be explaining to me whether or not the truth matters when so much information is spread so quickly and so prolifically. So that's really the key here is if we perceive misinformation as true and react to it as it's true, is the truth of any value? So that's the question that I want you to think about. Explain why the truth should or should not matter. And most of you, probably your gut reaction will be the truth matters and it should matter. But you also have probably told a white lie once or twice before in your life. For example, I was talking in class, and if you say to your boyfriend, "Do I look fat in this dress?" your boyfriend's going to say, "Oh no, honey, you look wonderful," even though you might look, as big as an elephant. But we try to be nice to people. We don't necessarily, we don't try to be ugly. So we often will say things to make others feel well, or we'll also tell lies to make ourselves not look bad. So there's lots of reasons why we do that. So read these 3 articles: Confirmation Bias, Why the Pundits Got the Election Wrong, How Confirmation Bias Shaped Our Views of the Facts, and As Fake News Spreads Lies, More Readers Shrug at the Truth. So you can look at these, read through these articles, and kind of summarize them and decide. You do not have to use them, but I think that they're good starting points to kind of get you thinking about this topic and thinking about how you can get into it. Your essay should be attached as a Word document via the link above. Before you do so, you need to carefully spell check and proofread it. Make sure it's well written in MLA format, a minimum of 600 words. It should have a beginning, a middle, and end, and include a works cited page as needed. I'll fix this in a minute, but the due date is not the 28th, which is tomorrow. The due date is actually going to be September 5th, and that's a Tuesday because Labor Day is that Monday, so that's when it's due. Also in the grade book, if you go to My Grades, you'll notice that there's a rubric. I strongly suggest that you click on the rubric before you write the essay, because it'll tell you exactly what I'm expecting from this assignment and what I'm looking for when I grade it, so that should help you as well. If you have questions about the essay, you want to talk to me, by all means, send me an email, post in the I have a question forum. Any of those will do. So have fun, do a good job. I know this is I'm kind of throwing you into this, but this is your this is what I call a baseline essay. This is just to let me see where you are as a writer, so I know what I need to focus on in this class. So I don't expect you to be perfect at this point in the semester, but I do want this to be one of your best efforts so that I know what I need to do in order to get you prepared for English 112 and to be successful in school. So again, let me know if you have questions or concerns, and have a good evening.